Sharing stories, talking revolution. That's what we're here for. We're here to talk about how to get the foot off our necks. We're here to talk about how to assault the capitalist system that certainly had my people coming over on an auction block and being sold, and that's still the conditions that we face today. Many of us are still dealing with the aftermath of chattel slavery and U.S. imperialism. So what I would like to do is not assume where anybody is on that spectrum. I'm not going to make any assumptions about where you are. Wherever you are, you're in this room because you might want to know more, or you've done more and you want to share your experiences. That's what we're here for. So I'm Jeree Hill. I'm the ad hoc moderator. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cheat a little bit and ask people if they wouldn't mind introducing themselves, because it's going to be clumsy and undignified if I go around and try to write it down now. It won't go well, trust me. What I want people to do is just take a couple of minutes to introduce yourselves and share something about what you plan to share as we go forward in this meeting. And I'm with the Mississippi Worker Center for Human Rights. Underneath my keffiyeh is my t-shirt. This is my colleague, Nita Carter. She'll introduce herself. And this is my comrade, Jennifer Bates, from the Amazon Bessemer Struggle. And so if we could all just introduce yourselves, and then we'll get started with the conversation. And thank you all for coming today. And we can go on either end. You want to start first, Steve?
How y'all doing? My name is Rashid Butler.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a member leader of Beyond the Bars.
All right now. And tell them what that is, if you don't mind.
Oh, Beyond the Bars is a. I'm sorry. I'm really not good at talking in front of people.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. We appreciate you.
Okay. Beyond the Bars is a working center for people that's been incarcerated, and when they get out, they try and find temp work. So what we are is we are the people that try and advocate for the people that in temp work and they not knowing their rights, and
You could.
You
did it. All right.
I had to go through my probation officer to even get here, because a lot of my other comrades, they couldn't make it because the probation officer wouldn't allow them. So I'm here on behalf of them to speak for them.
Yeah. Thank you, Rashid. Okay.
All right.
Freddie.
Hey, how y'all doing, family?
Hey.
My name is Freddie Pierre. I'm a community organizer with Beyond the Bars. Beyond the Bars is a worker center that organized temp workers. Damn, I got that exactly. That organized temp workers with records, that organized temp workers with records to fight for their dignity and respect that they deserve. And what that look like, people with record, they don't have no voice and they being exploited. So I'm here just to understand and find different ways to challenge, the capitalistic system that plagues our society.
Awesome. All right now. All right. Yeah. All right. Okay. And next we have Nita Carter.
And I'm Nita Carter. I'm with the Mississippi Worker Center for Human Rights. And what we do, we fight for the safety of all workers. We fight for the oppressed. And I'm here today to speak my truth.
Yes.
All right then.
Go ahead.
All right, and we have Jennifer Bates.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jennifer Bates, and I'm one of the employees who started the first union campaign at Amazon Fulfillment Center in Bessemer, Alabama in 2020.
Wow.
And I'm here to talk about the struggles that we've had trying to form our union, and the struggles we have now fighting corporate greed.
Awesome. All righty.
Hi, I'm Kenya Randall. I'm a part of National Domestic Workers Alliance, We Dream in Black, Georgia. We fight for the fair wages and rights of Black and brown domestic workers.
Awesome. All righty. Okay. All right, so let's just dive right in. The title of the session speaks for itself, but I would like to read the title and then we'll go from there, joining in this conversation. So the title is Dark Work, Precarious Labor, and the Southern Economy. And the organizations that have been invited to the platform are going to share stories with you and testimony with you about how we still see Black and brown workers in particular disproportionately abused and killed while trying to make a living. We still see disproportionately Black and brown workers who have come out of situations where they were in cages, still feeling like that once they've come home, not being gainfully employed, not receiving the wages that they are due for the work that they do. We are still seeing massive exploitation. And in most of these places, there's a serious union density. Mississippi, 4.2% union. Everybody else is on their own to fend for themselves. And what happens many times, because there's no real strong class struggle going on, worker centers will be accused of being dual unionists. We are not. We are not. I belong to 3 unions. The Mississippi, the Musicians Union, Local 802, OPEIU 153, the Clerical Union, and OCAW, Chemical and Atomic Workers, when I was working for NICOSH. I am not anti-union. But what we have to recognize is that there gotta be alternative streams of organizing so that those who are caught in the middle with nothing understand that they have a right to struggle and a duty to fight, as Assata Shakur said. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. Amen. And the only way we can fight for our freedom is to recognize that we're under the yoke of a system of oppression. Yeah. We cannot fight that system without understanding that system. So education is key. If you're in an organization where you're being cheated out of the education you need in order to do your work, you gotta fight for that. You gotta fight to know more. And speaking of knowing more, we're sitting in the room with the National Domestic Workers Alliance, June 16th, Soweto Day, 2000. The first ever international convention for domestic workers was enacted on that day. And we were in Atlanta listening and waiting for word from Geneva, and we heard about the fact that it had been done. So shout out to Domestic Workers Alliance. We're in the room with the oldest Black worker-led organization, that's Black Workers for Justice. If you don't know them, you need to know Ashaki Benta and the Black Workers for Justice. You need to know them. You need to know their work and their history, the work that they did when the plant blew up, Imperial Foods plant blew up. And we took to the streets. The Black Workers for Justice organization led us as we took to the streets in Hamlet, North Carolina, John Coltrane's hometown, where those workers were blown up. 26 of them died, another 25 were burned and injured beyond, you just can't even believe what happened to those workers, and nobody paid for it. But the resistance movement was launched, and so we have to give credit to those who have done that work. There are a lot of folks perpetrating, a lot of folks saying they did that work. It's not true. And see, one thing about being free, once you're free, then you just say what needs to be said. So who can ever control what I'm saying? Nobody. I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna tell it the way it is. And I'm gonna stop so I won't be overexposed and start the conversation. And who would like to just share some of the stories about the conditions that you see Black workers facing, from the cages to now being outside the cages to being in new cages, different types of cages at work? Who wants to share first? And then we have everybody here who wants to share as well. You know, and you know what, as a cultural artist, I really hate using my voice when there's no microphone. Do we have a microphone? Is there a mic? Yeah, but I'm talking about protecting my voice now. So y'all right. See, you see what I'm saying? Y'all worried about the wrong thing. I'm talking about how much do I have to exert. I see cordless mics over there. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because I see some over there in the corner over
I
there.
wondered about that.
Okay, but yeah, let's bring some of that technology over here to make sure we don't have a Jim Crow room. I'm just saying. Just saying. And then Palestinian support and solidarity got my kafia on. You feel one Gaza has her kafia on as well. And the sister here has hers also. Solidarity with Palestinian people. We are not afraid to say that in this room. Okay, so I want to, oh wait.
Is it working?
Hello. A little more volume, girl. Bring up some volume over there. Okay, who wants to go first? I will pass the mic to share. Yes, thank you.
They're coming. It's working?
Testing. And I just want to get the volume up a little bit. Testing. I guess I'll go ahead and start. I know some of you may know me, some may not, but in 2020, after coming off another job, for working 10 years, I started working at Amazon. Not soon after I started working there, I realized that that place needed a union. I walked out of a facility that had a union because there was so much going on. They had elevators with signs that says, do not use the elevators, take the stairs. But the stairs were this yay high.
Oh, wow.
And they had elevators that had only for product, no riders. So we had to put pallets of product on elevators that you had all around the facility, but the employees had to walk up stairs, and halfway up you had to stop. So that was a problem for me, but I kept working. Walking up the stairs, my knee was hurting. It was during COVID. People got fired. People got sick. Amazon lied and said that they were letting the people know that who went home, who were called in sick with COVID. We found out that they were lying. Daycares were calling. I saw a young lady crying her eyes out because the daycare called because her daughter was sick twice, but they fired her, not giving the opportunity to have sick leave to go take care of her kid, even though you know that there was sickness going around on a high level. People were getting injured. I was one that ended up getting injured, and I'm off right now for this. It started in 2020. People injured not because people say, well, my work is easy, you know, where I'm working at. But no matter how hard you work, they push. We want more, and they turn the machines up. You're going faster and faster and faster. There were so many injured employees on the other end. When I got down there, there was people that said they had been over there sitting down for a year, so they wouldn't go home off of FMLA or sick leave, but they're over there in a corner, tucked behind the medical area. While I was there, 7 people ended up dying in the facility. Out of the years that I've worked, I started working in an oil field when I was 13, but my legal job was at 16. I have never seen anyone die on a job but one lady. When she clocked out, she clocked in with the Lord. When she walked outside the door, she collapsed and passed out. But she was elderly. But out of all the years of my life, I've never worked in a facility that 7 people ended up dead. What hurt us so bad that the company didn't even give out of all the screens that are around the facility, you didn't put their picture up, didn't acknowledge them, that one of the employees had passed away. Let's have a moment of silence. None of that was given. We, as the employees who were trying to organize a union, we took upon ourselves and had a visual outside the facility in the parking lot for the employees that had passed on, that had already passed away. I mean, they put pictures up, employee of the month, or this person did this, but they never acknowledged. They sent out notifications on our phone, never acknowledged the people who had passed away. One of the things that I push so hard is all of us should be working to live, not living to just work.
That's right.
Everybody should deserve to go home at a decent hour to sit down at the table and have dinner like I used to when I was smaller. Sit down and have a nice hot meal with our families. Who's raising our children? People going home when you're being broke down so bad on the jobs, they don't care. They only concerned about lining their pockets, whether you continue in poverty. I talked to a young lady who left Mercedes. She made good money at Mercedes. During the time when we were campaigning for the second union, she said, Jennifer, she said, I left Mercedes-Benz because I wanted to spend time with my children. She said, I took the job at Amazon because it was flexible. I did the same thing. But she said, guess what? She said, I still don't have time with my children because now I got to work overtime to make up for the money that I lost from leaving Mercedes-Benz. People can't go to their children's games anymore. So we're being broke down, beat down, but still not given income good enough to take care of our families so we can take a decent vacation like they are.
That's right.
It's not fair to any of us. Workers should be able to enjoy the paychecks that they bring home. If we bring 100% to these jobs and these companies, we should be able to bring 100%. They should be able to give us 100% that we may go home to our families and be parents and enjoy life like they are. We're making them money. They say, oh, well, people are just lazy. No, we're not. If we were just lazy, why don't you fire us? Why don't you fire us if we were lazy workers that don't want to work? Why are we still working there? We're steadily building their empire while they go up in space and enjoy and then turn around and thank you for allowing me because you paid for it. But who's taking care of us is only until we continue to fight and continue to stand for what we're going to have to. I know they've been doing it for years, and right now it's 2025. We started in 2020. Now we have a second term where an overturned election. Now that our second election has also been overturned, now we get to have another election. The first one, Amazon was found guilty for interfering with the election. One time we had another election. They did it again. So they awarded us to have another election. But my issue is when is the punishment going to be harsh enough to keep them from continuing the same thing? Because now we're getting ready to have another election, but then we're doing the same thing because the laws are not harsh enough that they will say, okay, I'm not doing that because they're going to shut my company down. The pat on the hand is not enough. It's not enough for them because the company is going to keep doing it. So therefore, we need to fight for.
Here.
Switch it on for her.
Okay. So now we have to continue to fight for laws to be changed. I'm sorry, but some of the people are going to have to be moved out of those seats that they're holding, and we're going to have to fight for positions.
You got that.
People who want to fight for families. It's okay that we have to go to the jobs and work because we have to make a living, right? But at the same time, they got to recognize that we got to make a living, and at the same time, don't kill me before I go home. Because I want to live a long time and spend time with my family. Amen? Amen.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right.
I mean, words well spoken. Yes. How many of y'all know that capitalism is breaking our damn back?
All right, tell it. Tell the crew.
Black and brown people get the most dirtiest and filthiest jobs. We get the most dirtiest and filthy jobs. And that's coming from the essential workers like the cab drivers, the maintenance people, restaurant people, fast food. I mean, they work us from sun up to sundown. And I can truly tell you about my experience as a fast food worker. I was working at this restaurant, and the boss pushed me out there on the lettuce cutter. I wasn't trained, and I almost cut this finger off. It was hanging. And he told me to bandage it up and go back to work. I was young, didn't know no better, had 2 kids, and lo and behold, I did just what he said, but I was inferior of losing my job because I had my 2 children to take care of. But thank God for the Mississippi Workers Center, and let's give a shout out to the Mississippi Workers Center. Because the Mississippi Workers Center has been fighting for the safety of all workers. for over 30-some years. And I want to give a big shout out to the Mississippi Workers Center. And the jobs, the things that I have experienced, and I'm a community organizer at the Mississippi Workers Center. We grab stories from real workers. It's their safe place for them to talk about issues that's going on their jobs. And from the factory workers to the poultry workers, catfish workers, we have experienced that laundry workers too as well. We have experienced hearing stories about how how the bosses have people working under heat, extreme heat, especially the laundry workers with Broadway Linen, that's in Greenville, Mississippi, where they had their workers working under extreme heat, having sheets with fetus in it. You know, you are breathing all these chemicals, you know, that's unhealthy. During the height of the pandemic, they had to buy their own PPEs, you know, for masks, for protection. They drinking dirty water. I mean, it's just horrible. You know, outside the linen, you see all this white stuff all over the cars, you know, coming from the factory. As far as consolidated catfish, they have had people to have their legs and arms and stuff amputated off from standing in the cold air, you know, skin pulled back. They even had women's wearing diapers and stuff because they couldn't take bathroom breaks, which is horrible. In one bathroom for men and women. So how can you, as a female, go in the bathroom where men have to use the two at the same time? That's horrible. And these jobs don't care nothing about you. A lot of times when you get hurt, they working with their own lawyers, you know, to keep you from getting workman's comp. Working with their own lawyers so you can't get it. They got their own doctors, so everybody working together. You know, and it's just a horrifying situation, you know, when you hear things like this here. What do we do about it? We have to stand in solidarity to bring issues to, like you said, community leaders, you know, to fight for all this foolishness that's going on. I never seen anything like it, you know, with the horrors that's going on in our community. I mean, as a community organizer, I have to get out. I get out and I try to empower people to stand together. What are you going to do about it? Do you want to see your children working in these conditions? You know, your family members, you know, no one has to die in order to make a living.
That's right.
Nobody has to do that. You should be able to come home to your family, you know, not in a situation where you're working from sun up to sundown, and just like you said, Jennifer, you cannot be a mother to your kids when you're working hours and hours like that. A lot of parents have to send their kids to daycare. The daycare is really raising your kids because you're working so long, you know, yeah, they really don't know you. So you're working all these hours. With the Workers Center, we have had plenty of victories where we won a ordinance against slumlords and restaurant owners, because during the height of the pandemic, they was having people still coming in the restaurants. Captain D is one of them. Having people coming in, no masks, no the plastic things, you know, to
Plastic glass.
yeah. They was having people coming in, so we had them shut down. We had the police come around and shut them down. It was another one. And we did an audience for the golf club. They was having their workers coming in, and most of all these people predominantly white. They weren't wearing masks, and they were still working, having people coming in and not being protected, not trying to protect other people. And we did something else we did. It's on my list because it's so much stuff, so many victories that the Workers Center has accomplished. And that's why voting is so important, because we try to get out and get people to vote, and put the right candidate in that you know that's going to try to make a change. We won a victory for, Illinois, Mississippi, where we had a mayor there that had been the mayor for years. So how about we got a black one in by going around, door to door canvassing. We had another one in Greenwood, Mississippi, where this mayor had been a mayor for years, and we had a black one put in. We vote nonpartisan, when we're out. So we just tell them, do the right thing, put the right person in to make a change. It's just so many great things that the Mississippi Workers Center has done. Even with our mayor, we did the right thing, but put them in.
Damn to go. Dwell on that too long. You're right.
But,
Class struggle.
but it's just so many issues and struggles that I have seen people go through and hear from the worker circle. And people need to really get out and speak their truth, because that's why we form a circle, because you never know who has the story to tell.
Right.
And everybody needs someone to share their story with, and a lot of times they're just afraid to speak up because they don't know who to tell it to. And a lot of times you don't know who to trust, So you got to find that safe space where you can talk about issues that's going on in your community. And we allow them to have that safe space so they can feel free to say whatever they want to say, and we make sure we keep it confidential. It never goes out of our circle. So we get a lot of workers that come in and they share what's been going on their jobs. With retaliation. A lot of people are afraid of retaliation because, like I said, they're afraid to talk to someone. And you never know on your job who you're talking to. If I could be talking to Jennifer about something, I might be afraid that she's gonna go back and tell me. So
It's true.
you have to be careful who you talk to. But when you know something is not right, you stand up and you fight for it. Yeah. Even if you have to go alone, fight.
Right.
And get somebody else to come in that you can trust to stand with you, and talk about the issues that's going on your job. It's just ridiculous in the Delta, how things are. Especially with the catfish workers. People are afraid to talk, and I have had some experience with some workers, that I try to get from the catfish plays and other places. Oh, I'm not gonna talk on my boss. I'm not gonna say nothing, but that's the mentality not to have. Because when you know it's not right, stand up for it.
That's right.
Yeah, when you know it's not right, stand up for it and speak out. Because you never know that you can make a difference.
That's right.
You can make a difference. One person can make a difference. And like I say, no one has to die in order to make a living.
That's right.
And that's our motto.
That's right. All right, we're moving on over. Okay, Freddie.
Hey, how y'all doing, family? That's what's up, man. Sure. I'm coming from people who've been formerly incarcerated who got records, and my story started off me coming out the county and then me meeting up with my wife, and she was letting me know, like, hey, she gave me $200, and then she gave me we went to the metro and we got a cell phone, and I did elderly out of my family. I got 3 brothers. I got one that's over me, that's from another family, and I got 2 that's right under me. And my dad, at that moment, he was not there. So pretty much, I held down the household. And family is everything to me, right? So what ended up happening to me, right? I used to get all types of jobs, right? In my back, I got a lot of experience because, man, I didn't have time to pay. I had to make sure my family was all right. So I had a little situation with my brother. I had to take care of him. I had to take a charge for my brother, right? So what that did was it messed my whole background up. So when I mean by messed up my whole background up, right? When I came out, I went to go get my same job. They said no. I ended up getting hired at Winn-Dixie, and I would one day they let me go, right? So now for me, So I met my wife, I was a manager, you know what I'm saying? Every job that I did, pretty much I worked myself up to be a manager, but now by me having a record, I'm not able to get the same jobs no more, right? So no, as a black man, it starts effing with you mentally. Because now you have to go back to go tell your wife, you got to go talk to your kid and tell her I don't got it, and you have to play a role. You got to play a role as a man to make sure everything is okay. But really, it's not okay, man. Because the light bill, the water bill, the car insurance, like she told me, she said that she emptied out everything she had to make sure I was straight, to make sure I was a king inside. That's what she said. And then when I came out, I was not able to give it back. I realized was not giving back. My mom gave me a tie, so I go do an interview, and it was hard for me to go back and let them know I didn't get it, right? So now, fast forward the whole story. So now, I'm looking at a manager. Now I just want to get a job. Now I'm looking for anything. So now the only thing that's giving me love is basically temp work. So what I did was I started doing temp work. The type of job I used to get, I was a Publix, I did everything AC, I was inside. So now like, I can't even think about getting AC, I gotta get whatever they gonna give me. So y'all already know what time it is for temp work. You gotta get there 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, you gotta make sure you get picked, you feel me? If you got a car, you good, because they gonna throw some more people in, they gonna give you some extra cash, right? But the biggest problem that I had with that whole situation was the fact that I was not able to get a job that I could help my family, kid. I was not able to pay a light bill. I had just enough to put gas and come with food so we could eat for the day. As a man, it breaks you down mentally, consciously. Man, it comes to a point you don't believe nobody will. You don't believe nobody will look at you the same way, right? So now, me going with Beyond the Bars, right? One time for Beyond the Bars, right? So now, first of all, I never would have thought I would have been here doing this, because I never thought about organizing. I never knew that it was this type of stuff going on. I just go to work, chill, hang with my family, and that's what it is, right? So now, what ended up happening, I ended up coming down the street from the court, and my bunkie told me, man, I need to jump on. So I jumped on, and then at that time, they was doing fines and fees. They was trying to make sure that, there's nobody getting fined inside the court jail. So I did the work. They brought me into a meeting. I had the same type of people that's around me with the same type of problem, and then we was talking about it. But I didn't know why we was talking about it. But the thing about them, they teach you things, but at the same time they teach you things, they show you at the same time. My first conference, I didn't know nothing that they was talking about. I talk about it all the time. They call it jerking, whatever they call it. I didn't know nothing that y'all was talking about, because I was like, damn, if y'all talking about me, then we should have more people like me in the space. Why the hell y'all here talking? And you know what I'm saying? I don't know what y'all talking about. My friend right now, Rashid, we did that's the first thing. Like, man, it's too much people. I don't know what they're talking about, but that's what we go through. But that's cool, because we babies in this type of situation, and all it is the fact that he's here and he's willing to learn. He got this girl here. This is what I love. When they say knowledge is the key, because the fact that he wants to learn, he wants to make a change. Think about 4, 5, or 6,000 people like him that want to make a change, right? I'm not gonna hold you so much, right? But the work that I do with Beyond the Bars, right? Me going out, canvassing, talking to brothers, talking to people that's being impacted, is the fact that they don't know. They don't know how even to fight for themselves. They're just happy the fact that they're in the house and nobody effing with them. They good. You feel me? It's not right, bro. It's not right. We need to fight every day. We need to fight every day to make sure we straight. They doing it, but we can't do it. But we so used to just leaning back, and then it is what it is. We don't went through it. We can go through it. No, bro. We need to fight. I want at least for For me, when I go talk to these people door to door, I say, bro, share the knowledge, bro. Share the knowledge. Get the understanding. You feel me? Get the understanding. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, get the understanding. You know what I'm saying? Know how to protect yourself. Know when they come in, they talking to you, you can be able to help somebody else. So the thing with me is knowledge is the key. Bring people in the space that's impacted, that could make a change and make a difference, you know. And
What have you won?
when we won, oh man, we'll be on the bars. Another thing I wanted to, okay, we'll be on the bars. Whew, man, we was able to knock out the fines and fees. Fines and fees was like 15, we brought out the 14, it came out to 4. Now it's for free. We got tablets coming in. We got free medical, free eye. We got free insurance inside of right there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I didn't even knew we was doing that. I was part of it, but I was like, damn, when we won, I was like, wow, I'm ready to do some more. You get what I'm trying to say? I'm ready to do some more. So now, when we bring these, we got this talk meeting that we do every month where we bring temp workers in the building. We talk about the issues. We talk about stuff that they going on. We try to figure out new ways we could implement it and bring it back and try to change the schedule. We got this other thing that we doing, working on common grounds. And working on common grounds is pretty much talking to union people to talk about how they could change the negotiating practice, where they could put workers with records inside, and maybe they can build more memberships, or we can work together to build. Because the thing about it, when they look at the background checks, they automatically cancels us out. I don't like that, bro. We need to go in and challenge it. We need to figure out different policies and different details so we don't eliminate people. So it's like, let's just go to work, man. I love y'all, man.
How y'all doing? My name is Rasheed Butler. I can't talk that.
Let's do you, bro. Do you, man.
That's why you're up there.
Oh, man. Your experience, what you went through, all that, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take your time, bro.
Well, basically, I'm trying to. It's harder than it seems.
That's right.
Start talking.
Yeah. We all family in here.
Share your experience.
We your friends, we listening.
Okay, y'all, too much pressure.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna lie. I had just recently got out of jail. As soon as I got out, I had went to a temp agency. You know, they don't hire you on the spot automatically, so they made me come back the next day.
You got it?
You good?
I don't really need this.
Go ahead, do your thing.
We can't hear you.
You can't?
Yeah, go ahead and use it. Yeah, go ahead and use it. You good, you good.
You gotta speak
Oh,
up.
okay, I'll
You gotta
speak
speak up.
Okay, I had recently got out of jail. I had went to a temp agency. I don't need it.
Yes, you do.
No.
The people
They said they can't hear you.
you.
That's what they're saying. That's what I'm holding for you. They can't hear you. Be comfortable.
I'm feeling you right now.
Yeah.
Because y'all are tough.
Do your thing.
Nah,
Just boy alone.
Because I'm really antisocial, so I'm sorry. I'm having an anxiety attack.
You don't have to apologize.
Okay.
Now you good.
So basically, I went to the temp agency. They hired me, but I didn't know the conditions was as harsh as what it was when I did go there. So I gave it a week, but in the week, it was just really traumatizing because the breaks they gave us, it was like 10, 15 minutes. The conditions we was in was super harsh because the sun hitting you all day. You know, we in Miami, so the sun hitting like really crazy. So as I'm going, you know, I'm asking people who work there, I'm like, is this what y'all usually go through? And they telling me like, yeah, this is just what it is. And I'm like, I can't do it because how am I supposed to work every day just to eat for the day? I can't save no money. I can't buy nothing that I want. I can't have nothing that I want. So I quit the temp agency. Okay, come around. One of my friends named Akil, he not here, but you know, he introduced me to Beyond the Bars, and he was like, this is a agency, you know, they teach you about your rights and like
Organized temp workers.
No.
organized temp workers.
That's formerly incarcerated.
You
Okay. I'm sorry.
He's good.
So, when I first got there, I really didn't know what it was for, you know what I'm saying? So as I went through, they started making me do stuff that I'm not used to doing, like speaking. Like this is the, like...
Like this.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like getting out of my comfort zone and actually like trying to advocate for people like me. So as I went along, you know what I'm saying, like I started learning, like I didn't know that it was, how do I say it?
Take your time.
I'm sorry. Okay. So as I go along, I started learning about like my rights as far as like I shouldn't be in the heat. I don't know.
That's right.
You got it.
That's right.
Finish it off.
That's right.
Finish it off.
That's
Finish that
right.
sentence off.
That's right.
Good.
That's right.
Okay, well, I'll just cut everything. Well, basically, Beyond the Bars have raised my confidence a little because because I was never really one of the people that advocated for someone else and like trying to help them know what the do's and don'ts of when you do go to a temp agency. So basically, Beyond the Bars is really like my family because I have a family, but they wasn't there for me and they was. So I'm sorry.
Guys, I want to say something about Rasheed. Rasheed is a family of 8 kids. I'm kind of nervous when I speak too. Okay, and of 10 kids, he's been incarcerated how many times? A lot of times.
Yeah.
So basically, his last incarceration was last year. He is like meeting him coming into the organization. It's like I wish there's many more like him because he has a passion to change. He's went through a lot, selling or whatever you want to call it. He just went through a lot, and if you see him sitting here right now on the panel, it's because this is his first time, and you want to make a change in his life. He don't want to go through the streets anymore. He doesn't want to do none of that. He want to change. Let's go. He's very, very smart. He's very smart. He knows a lot. But he doesn't have somewhere to express that. So Beyond the Bars, coming to Beyond the Bars, he feels like he's able to express it. That's why he's doing this. Even when his phone was disconnected, he called me off of another phone and say, I'm coming. He's very passionate. You can see that drive in him. That's why I'm so excited that he's sitting here right now and that he's speaking.
This is the kind of room I like. I like this room. I like this room because this is a room where we can hear the wisdom of a brother who's been through, come through. And we need to recognize and make him our hero. Instead of the sellout, the gatekeepers who always push us back and many of them look like us. We need to celebrate a Rasheed. Okay, Rasheed. Yes, with a V. Rasheed. We need to celebrate. And don't y'all forget Malcolm went to prison. Okay? Malcolm went to prison. Malcolm was a criminal. He said that. But he became a conscious revolutionary brother, our black shining prince. No matter how people try to define him as violent, he was a response to violence. And Rasheed is a response to over-incarceration, to caging our brother. Look at the potential of the
Say it!
I tell you. And you know what? People don't always do what I ask them to do, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say the temporary system at Mars, and then you take it away. I asked you, AXK, to tell that story, and you did not do it.
This is about Shiro.
Talk about the temporary system
Okay.
at Mars,
I'm gonna talk about the
which is
temporary
Uncle
system.
Ben's Rice Company, by the way.
That's right, it's Uncle Ben's Rice Company, and we have had workers to come in our circle and tell us about the years that they have worked as a temp worker. And that is unridiculous, working 9 and 20 years as a temp.
That's right.
That is really ridiculous. What we're gonna do to overcome that system? Now, the place that was a temp, they are no longer a temp service. I mean, no longer working as workers as temp. Thank God to that. That's a victory. That's won in Greenville. Yeah. Because these workers, I mean, working as temp workers for 9 and 20 some years, that's ridiculous.
No benefits.
No benefits, no health insurance, no nothing. You know, as temp workers. Working from sun up to sundown. You know, and got families. So that is really ridiculous. So they're no longer a temp service now. Oh, to Rashid, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. You know, I was feeling everything that you were saying. And I too am a formerly incarcerated person. You know. Anything that you want to do, you can make your life out of anything. And you know what? I say Jeree was my shero. And I hope she don't mind by me saying this here. She was the first person to give me a chance. Wow. I'm back on my social worker's degree. I'm working on my master's.
Let's go. Let's go.
I was in and out too.
Let's go.
Just like you, Sean. And I would like to come over there and give you a hug.
Oh, yeah. All right. Let's keep it moving. Now, I want to open it up. Are there any warriors out there? Anybody, any freedom fighters out there who want to have a word, who want to speak their truth and bring some more testimony into the room? Because it's not enough. It is inspiring. It helps us to be brave when we hear these stories. Am I right? Yeah. It helps us to know what we're going to do when we get back to that job. I ain't fit to take it no more. Right? You're already thinking to yourself how you ain't going to take it no more. But what strategies do we need to develop to make sure that the conditions that have been described by our comrades are no longer what workers have to face every single day? Nita said no one should have to die to make a living. Jennifer said you should be able to go to work, come home whole, and be able to help your child with their homework. You should not have to think about whether you're going to be caged again. There are strategies that are time honored, that people throw away, you know, with the baby. They throw the baby out with the bathwater, trying to act like everything has to be new. We still do door-to-door canvasses. And I'm not talking about electing the next wave of gatekeeping Uncle Toms and sellouts. I'm talking about taking a rights card to somebody and letting them know you got rights on the job that you didn't know you had. Here's a rights card for you. I'm talking about not just canvassing to get the next wave of poverty pimps and pimp politicians. How do we enforce the issue of accountability? How do we address the fact that we need to organize the South for real? How do we take up that fight and look at some of the prototypes of Black Workers for Justice? Look at some of the prototypes of Beyond the Bar, National Domestic Workers Alliance, Mississippi Workers Center, the Southern Workers Assembly. How do we bring all of that together into one juicy pot so we can see some real, fundamental, and substantial change? Ashaki. Oh, okay. Yeah. What's your name, brother? Oh, you can tell him. You can tell him. All right. Okay. And then the Ashaki. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh my God.
No, man.
Wait. Yeah, you better let her go. And then you go after her, and then a shot. Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Kenya. I'm a part of National Domestic Workers Alliance. We dream in Black Georgia. And I'm a domestic worker. I care for my sister because for so many times she's had workers to come into her home, not to complete the work, but want the money. And she kept getting tired of seeing different faces all the time. And I said, well, let's see what I can do about that. So I became her care worker to take care of her, not just because she's my sister, because I know she needs the help, but at the same time, we're unappreciated. We don't get valued for the work that we do. It's hard work, but we have to do the work because we need to have a wage, and that wage is not being met by the work that we do because they don't feel we deserve to get a higher wage for what we do. But at the same time, I am dedicated to the cause because my sister needs me, she loves me. We've told our stories so many times, and
Yes, Kenya. It's all right. Take your time. You got this.
It gets hard because she's my sister and life is just hard itself. We don't want to see people struggle, yet alone our family, our friends, no one, but there's a struggle there. And I stand beside her daily.
Yeah.
You all right, no.
Sorry.
I feel you.
Take your time.
We feel you.
This is so good.
That's what we're here for.
I love it, so good.
But in the midst of what I do, I fight with national domestic workers to make the work that we do better, to have a living wage, to receive the benefits for the work that we do that we're not getting.
Right.
We won a bill that we asked for, but that bill does not state that we get that money. The language needs to be changed, and that's what we're working on right now. That the money that they give to home-based community service for the people who are on Medicaid that get those services from the state, that we get 80, they get 20. So that's what we're striving for right now at Domestic Workers. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm a little late because I had a little stomach issue, but you know, we here now. I got an S on my chest as always for him, and that's why I came straight in here to just stand up, you know, as soon as I seen my team, our team, you know, because we all here as one, you know. I don't look at us as just, you know, beyond the bars. I look at all of us that's here, you know, and plus more that's willing to come together as one, you know, with us. So with that being said, you know, I come to share my testimony because I come from a family of separation, you know, which pushes me to go so hard the way I do now, you know, and this is why I'm a part of Beyond the Bars. I'm from Miami, you know, and I've been incarcerated a lot, you know. I grew up without no dad, you know, so it's just, you know, I grew up a statistic, you know, and I'm being, you know, I'm being honest. So it's me pouring my heart out, you know, to, you know, give the correlation, you know, of you guys and for everybody that's represented, you know, trying to push this change as well as I am, you know. So, yeah, I went through the temp agencies and, you know, just foods. I feel like I'm a jack of all trades, you know. So I feel like I come from, it's the food services that I had issues with, you know, trying to, you know, excel in. You know, it came to racism, you know, it came to just all type of stereotypical things, you know, as a, you know, being not only black, you know, but just, you know, being incarcerated. That's the most, you know, that's the target, you know, so it's just being incarcerated, having a record and stuff like that. So, you know, you know, that led me to, you know, what they call crash out, you know, nowadays, you know, and that led to incarceration and me, you know, putting myself in, you know, predicaments that I no longer regret, you know, because I'm still a free man today, you know. I beat it, you know. I'm or anything like that. So I thank God for that. You know, I'm a free man again at 26 years old today. You know, so, that being said, you know, with the opportunity that I have right now, while God's still blessing me with the freedom that I have right now, I wanted to take it, you know, really push forward with it, you know, really transition with myself, you feel me? And beyond the bars, you know, thank you for Angela, you know, my second mom right here, for really getting me to this organization. You know, I ain't gonna lie, like, you know, that's my second family for real. You know, I talk to them, you feel me? Cause my back against the wall right now, you know, I'm going through a little issues, you know, down where I'm at, you feel me? So it's like, it's just like, you know, like,
Tell us.
It's just, you know, like, I ain't gonna lie, I feel good, you know, I got that S on my chest, you feel me? But it's a lot behind it to why I'm here. You know, Tallahassee was the first start for me, you feel me? I stood up, it felt like MLK that day, you feel me? So,
All right now.
We had fought and got a bill change, you know, for what that was the Labor Code Act. We passed that, you know, the Republicans tried to fight against us, you know, and we passed that. That was against the most powerfulest the lobbyists, the most powerful lobbyists, and we won against them, you know. And I feel like on the side of that, I had Cece, her daughter, you know, she kept the empowerment in me, you know. We all kept, you know, study, you know, and we just made that happen, you know. I just had them on the side of me, you know. I had, you know, the whole team. I had Freddie, you know, I had Kat, you know. They all just kept, you know, keeping that, you know, that real push in me, you feel me? So that's why I still got that S on my chest, you feel me? I ain't afraid to let it out, as y'all can see, you feel me? I used to really be in my box, like I used to be scared to talk, you feel me? I used to be in a crowd, you know, really feeling like I have the voice too, but I never wanted to, you know, voice it, you know. But not to kind of get off topic, I'm just, you know, letting you guys know that while I'm right here right now, you feel me, and why I feel good about being, you know, doing what I'm doing right now. That's why I feel like it's something I want to excel in, because I could become a lobbyist myself, or a speaker, motivation.
Let's do it!
I'm good at communication, you know, when I'm really opened up and comfortable, you know, as I am right now, you feel me? So I gained that confidence within myself, you feel me? And, you know, like I say, life is hard, like she said, you feel me? And I felt you really hard, Miss Queen/King, you know, because I know, you know, I really feel like, you know, that's why I'm heartfelt for you, you feel me? And I hope you keep pushing, you and your sister, you know. I feel as a black young man, I want all the brothers to keep fighting for our woman power, you feel me? Like, that's what I'm on. Keep us strong as a, you know, as a union, you feel me? As for the Latinos, you know, just for people that's just struggling throughout life, not only from people that's incarcerated, because, you know, it's hard for us too, but it's other people that ain't incarcerated but still go through struggles in life, so we have to have the consideration for them too. So now back to, you know, my testimony. What I was, you know, like I say, I used to, you know, rob, you know, I've been through, you know, a lot of gang related activity and stuff like that, and I, you know, went through all that, you know, and like I say, God still gave me the freedom, you know, and I started seeking, you know, still went and kept the power in myself with the record that I have, you know, even though I'm not a convicted felon, but, you know, they still, you know, like, look at that. So I still thank God that I'm, you know, I'm still able to, you know, still become a powerful black man, you know, as myself, with the freedom that I have. And, you know, beyond the bar is, you know, something that I want everybody to, you know, understand that this is what we doing as well as you guys, you feel me? So this is why I'm here, you know, and the testimony that I have with the temp working, you feel me? Like I said, I just wanted to add on with that, because I ain't get on that yet. Like, I used to catch the bus in the morning, you feel me? And, you know, it was just hard doing that, you know. I'm wasting money, you know, to try to make money, you know. They making you come out of pocket just to try to get to work, you feel me? That, like, that's just crazy right there, you know. And it's really no consideration, like no dignity for us, because we be hard even waiting before we even could get a ticket, because we gotta stand, you feel me? Some people is, you know, elders still trying to, you know, get jobs and stuff like that. So it's no consideration for them too. So I felt that, you feel me? I'm a strong lover of elder people. I'm a grandma's boy, you know. So that's just me all the way. I love, and you know, I just love elder people, period. You know, so I want my days to last longer with all the wisdom that I have gained from them, you know. And with that being said, you know, it's just hard, you know, being black and just Latino and trying to, you know, come to work in the morning. You got kids. I don't have no kids, but it's just still, you know, it's just hard. Like, I still feel the struggle, you know what I'm saying? And we going out there to work, you know, we ain't getting no water, you know, we ain't getting no seats, no nothing, no, like, you know, we being looked at as animals, just trying to come to work and just, you feel me? Oh, cause we all got a record. Like, it shouldn't make a difference. We all trying to make a betterment for ourselves and our lives as people trying to just work, you know, no matter if it's a labor pool or a legit job. You get what I'm saying? So I just want change for that. You know, I'm with Beyond the Bars. We seeking, you know, betterment and excelling more job opportunities within labor pool acts. That's why we did get it passed. So I'm not gonna talk you guys' ears off, but you know, that's all right.
This is the very reason why we are here this weekend. My name is Ashaki Benta, and I'm a longtime member and organizer with the Black Workers for Justice. And we founded this effort to build a Southern Workers Assembly in 2012 in Jeribu, the Mississippi Workers Center, and SHROC, Southern Human Rights, has been with us along the way. She was at our founding conference, and you know, just over the years, you know, we've stuck together. Where we are now, the reason we've gathered here this weekend is to try to advance a strategy different from the past of organizing workers in the South and creating a different kind of labor movement than what we've had, what we call social movement unionism, where the people and the community, the workers on the jobs are involved. And we're also inclusive throughout the South of all of the workers that have been excluded. The workers that are speaking up here now, they were deliberately excluded from labor law.
That's right.
From the beginning. And it started with trying to prevent black workers from having any power.
That's right.
In the South, as they were shifting more and more jobs to this region.
That's right.
Starting back in 34, it's tied into Jim Crow.
Tied in.
And so they wanted to prevent, you know, black workers in this region where a majority of black people are in the South still, after hundreds of years, this is where we still are. And they wanted to prevent the ability to vote or to organize or to stand up on the job. And in certain sectors that were doing the work, like farm workers that we've been talking about and that we're talking about this weekend, temporary workers, domestic workers, they were deliberately left out of any laws that were created supposedly to, you know, give some foundation to people to have unions. But the way they structured those laws was to prevent unions from developing and consolidating in the South.
That's right.
So, you know, as Jeribu talked about with Mississippi, but all over the Southern region, and we'll talk about this a little bit more tomorrow, but all over the Southern region, to keep this area, this region of the country from being organized, the exploitation is even greater than any other region in the country. We'll talk about that a little bit. So we need trade unions, and we've been alienated from them because one of the goals of the bosses and of the system, capitalism, was to prevent any kind of effort of workers on the job, you know, to be able to make change and deal with their day-to-day working conditions. And that was, you know, that was not allowed. So our effort throughout this weekend is to kind of consolidate the infrastructure that we've built over the years with the workers' assemblies throughout the South. There's 17 or 18 of them now. And also with the new unions that we've created, new approaches that need to be used. And also to draw out the lesson for people that we need these new approaches to organizing unions. Not lobbying politicians to try to you know, pass laws that they're not passing. You know, there's a failure to do that. The Democratic Party is not helping. We know what the Republican Party is. Neither one are serving the interests of working people.
That's right, that's right.
And when you look back at the history, you'll see that labor laws were constructed after workers began organizing and fighting back on these jobs. There were so many strikes that commerce was impacted in this country, and they were not able, to get their goods and services delivered or what have you. So that's when they started enacting labor laws in order to control, how strikes would happen, if a strike could happen, and et cetera. And then they created these same laws in the 40s, starting to prevent unions from consolidating in this region. So what we're saying is we need to build a new labor Congress that's coming out of these conditions in the South.
Absolutely.
That includes the workers, whether it's farm workers or any kind of food production workers, domestic workers, of course, all black workers throughout this region, and all workers. Every worker, no matter what job they're in, they deserve to have a union on that job. And there should be no temporary workers, and even temps that they use on these jobs. They'll work them like that as temps, for 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
And it's an outrage.
It's an outrage.
But they have, gives them the right to escape from giving people benefits and what have you. So this is the challenge. So we're here this weekend hoping embryonically to establish that foundation to build this Southern Labor Congress, where workers in the South, inclusive of all of us that have been left behind and left out, to begin organizing. But when we do this, we gotta organize it around the question of power. How do we build power? And even, we've been discussing this, starting to discuss it more in Black Workers for Justice, but we need Black Workers for Justice and new trade unions in the prisons. Because they are exploiting the brothers and sisters who are in those areas and making, buku money off of your incarceration, and then you're still a slave, really, you have no rights. That law needs to be overturned. That part of the Constitution is wrong. And then once people come out, they've served their time or what have you, their rights should be restored. There shouldn't be any question about it. Now they have to, they can't vote, or they can't do this, and there's no job, no system for them to come out to. And a lot of our people wouldn't be in these prisons if they had jobs appropriately. But the greed of capitalism took work away out of this country, going all over the world, so that they could work people for 50 cents an hour, or 30 cents an hour, anywhere they could get it. And then, people here, especially our community, shove us into prisons, from school to prison, not school to college, but not school to a trade. And so this is what we're continuing to have to deal with, and this is what needs to be turned around. But we got to have power to do it. And so that means, we got to understand capitalism. How does capitalism work? It exploits working people. They need workers. So if we deprive them of our labor until they meet our demands, then we will begin to see change, in the South. And they'll begin to act laws and enact laws that need to be developed and promoted in order to protect the rights and interests of all, of all of us. So this is what we're trying to achieve by being here, and we're seeing this as the beginning of a next step, not just as a conference for all of us just to come together. So forgive us for the kind of, wobbliness or whatever of things that are going on. We'll learn from it. We got younger people coming along now to take up some of these tasks. People and I have been around a long time. We're gonna be around. As long as we can, keep doing the work, we're going to keep doing it. But we need new forces coming up that understand these questions and are able to organize. So, it's going to be a learning process. But we appreciate all of you being here, and I'm so proud of the domestic workers. That's a historic thing in our community after slavery.
Yes.
This is some of the kind of work that, a lot of black women ended up doing. Those garbage trucks weren't going out in the morning. It wasn't a question of firing, it was a question of trying to resolve the situation.
That's right.
Because the workers organized enough to make demands.
That's right.
And this is what we got to try to start doing on these jobs now. So getting organized. And then the other aspect of this question of power is to look at it from an industrial basis. That is, the auto workers in the South that haven't been organized, the Amazon workers in the South, all of these industries need to work together. Not one plant at a time holding some union election that management wins because they had all of these captive audience meetings threatening people. No, let's build unions, let's work together, let's organize industry by industry so that we can have an impact. That's what gives us power, being organized. So this is, I really appreciate all of you being here. This was an excellent, beautiful panel. Just wonderful, bringing out.
Almost out of time. It's almost 5:30, but I do want to hear folks' answer to that question if anybody wants to take a stab at it. I know that there are efforts across some parts of the country addressing the 13th Amendment and how it legalizes slavery, has always legalized slavery for one sector of our population, and that's our brothers and sisters and others who are incarcerated. And it's legal under the Constitution. And there are movements that are trying to address that, but the problem, and I'll say this really quickly, the problem always is who they align with. And you mentioned AFL-CIO, you mentioned other unions that we have had not just friction, but contradictions with, mainly white male-led unions who really believe in America, believe in the U.S. project. They believe in U.S. imperialism. They might want to tweak it a little bit here and there, but they're not really about dismantling. So we're talking about dismantling. We're going to need other coalition partners. And that's why the blueprint that Ashaki laid out is so important, because so often we go to conferences, we feel good, everybody feels good, the stories, the testimony, the courage that fills up the room makes us feel good, but what's our next step? We need to be organized, we need to be in organizations that defy the status quo. And we're willing to coalesce with anybody who is in that vein. We have ceased to deal with fake united fronts because we feel like the time is wasted. When you say we can work with everybody, that is not true. Some folks are against us. And we want to work inside of a blueprint that lifts up working people, lifts up the working class, and takes us to the next level. So I think the blueprint that Ashaki laid out and the history behind it and all the work that BWJ, Black Workers for Justice, have done over the years toward that, I just want to lift that up as something we should be thinking about going forward. And if your organization, the leadership of your organization is what's holding you back, you might need a new organization. You might need a new one. And this is not my room to break apart. If I were at Schrock, I'd be talking about some of these organizations, because that's my forum. But here I'm respectfully going to step back, because a couple of organizations you mentioned, I won't deal with them. I won't coalesce with them. We had an excluded workers' Congress, and it was dismantled by gatekeepers. So it included formerly incarcerated people. And one of the people inside of the coalition, after we said we weren't going to separately fundraise, took a grant from public welfare that belonged to, at that time it was Dorsey Nunn, and they were in a group called, not Beyond the Bars. It was called,
Some of us are none.
All of Us Are None. Thank you, girl. Thank you. All of Us Are None. The money should have gone to them, but instead it went to the fake coalition of gatekeepers. So if you're not about that, I'm with you 100%. But let's get some folks to comment on the sister's comments. And she's coming from George Floyd country, so she knows a whole bunch about what's going on.